think the game changer for me was like youth mass and choir and all these different activities in church.
Yes.
I think they play such an important role.
Right. For me, definitely growing up, for the most part, I was struggling to find my place in the world, kind of, every young person goes through this phase where they're asking questions like, who am I? What was I made for? And what is my purpose in life, And what helped me a lot in my journey of faith was seeing other young people who were very active in the church. Not just young people who wanted to do activities, but young people for whom Jesus meant something to them. So he was a real person in their life. And actually, Kim may not know this, but she was giving a talk when I was a college student, much before I...
Father, you're revealing my age.
but anyway, to see a young person like her who was cool and hip, and like her, many others who were passionate about the faith and gave their testimony in public. Here was someone who for whom faith was not just something of a tradition handed down to her by her family, but someone who had a passionate love for a God who was alive and active in her life.
Right.
So for young people to see other young people on the same journey as them is an important aspect. And that's one of the things that I think is a challenge to the church in our times, is to create spaces where young people can gather together and grow in this journey of faith.
Right.
What helped me also was having people I could ask questions to. You know, sometimes when I was growing up, I had a lot of questions about the faith and like, is God real at all? Or is he a Santa Claus that we invent that, just to soothe our lives and to cover up all the suffering and the pain and the reality of our death, This was one of the deepest doubts I had as a young person. Yeah.
And that I think is I think a lot of people have that question, because there's a lot of information that you're given when you're not necessarily at any point, like even when you're young, you have a lot of input from a lot of different sources which make you question, is this just some kind of way to make you accept hardships in life, or so how do you justify God, how do you justify faith, right?
Yeah,
so
that's one of the biggest challenges to faith, is the reality of human suffering. Many young people, they struggle to believe that God exists, but not only that God exists, that God cares. Right. Because if God cares for us, if God loves us, then why so much suffering? That's one of the challenges that many of us may face.
Definitely.
I don't know what your experience was.
No, I couldn't agree more. You had mentioned like youth mass, right? I remember when we were youth and working with other youth, youth mass was a big crowd puller. We were like all the youth. There were so many who would want to come in for mass, where otherwise they would be sitting outside on the wall, right, outside the church. And while we were excited about seeing so many come, and some would come for the music, and some would come for the youth homily, and some would come, for different reasons. But over the years, maybe about 10 years of doing that, what we saw is the ones who stayed were the ones who maybe started there, but they actually asked these questions that Father was talking about.
Right.
They found it comfortable and safe enough to ask these questions to people who they trusted, who were grounded in the faith, who were grounded in the church, and they could come back to. And we talk so much about, negative peer pressure and all of that. But here, here's this opportunity to create peer pressure of a positive kind, to bring young people together and to get them to strive to challenge them with something, that seems far beyond, but the starting point is here. Like, where are you in your life right now?